recipe for reversing diabetes. Dr. Kurt Tyson's here. Hi, Dr. Kurt.
Hi, Melanie. How are you?
Great to see you. So your book is all about eating healthy and raw, natural way. Tell us more about it.
Yes, so I'm type 2. And then for myself, I was the almonds with some herbs, onion, garlic in it as well. Oregano, of course.
And so you're making over here a taco. Without the bread shell.
Without the bread shell. So this is
musical journey continues. She was a contestant on this season's X Factor, and this morning she joins us live in studio to perform her latest single. The video debuts online today. So, Ra, the MC, good morning to you.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. And you brought along a friend, Mike.
Mike, also known as Cap. This is my background vocalist.
Okay, nice to see you too, Mike. Going to chat with Ra just for a second. Tell us about the X Factor. What was that like?
The X Factor was amazing. It was surreal. I had a great time.
Yeah.
You know, it was a great opportunity.
Good.
And I've been telling folks I'll be back next year.
Oh, yeah.
So don't count me out yet.
Yeah, and you made it to the judges' houses. It was the whole thing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Okay.
From
So,
thousands of people,
From
you know?
thousands of people representing DC well. Okay, but let's move on to new music in the project, the Grace Jones Project, and also the video that's out today.
Right. Fallback is what we're dropping today. It features myself, Raheem Devon's artist Phil Day, and Javier Starks.
Okay.
And it's an animated type of video. It's really fun, you know, something for the kids.
We've been looking at a little bit of it, and that's important that you said that, Rob, because it's positive. There's nothing that you have to turn. I'm in the car turning the radio down on the words and all that, but what's the message behind your music?
The biggest thing that I pride myself on is trying to be a household name. You can play it in front of your grandmother. You can play it for your 3-year-old daughter. You know, I want to have a message that's empowering, but that's honest. You know, my story genuinely. So that's my whole journey. Just trying to uplift women, keep them encouraged, and let them know that we can do this in a male-dominated industry.
I love it.
You know?
And again, you're representing well. So what are we going to hear today?
Today we're going to hear a record called Believe.
Pageants, and I actually won, which I was surprised for. I was like, okay, well, I just showed up. But from that, it really turned into something else. After I got my degree in business administration, my bachelor's, I took a break and focused on my corporate career, kind of put modeling to the side. But then around 2009, I was like, you know, I want to go for a national title. And I was awarded my first national at that point.
Wow. Well, for those of us who've only seen it on television, we think we know what we're looking at. Talk to me a little bit about the system. There's Miss America, then there's this one and that one. There's all kinds of local and regional pageants. How does it work?
You know, I'm so glad that you asked me that question, because that's like the #1 question I get asked, like, what's the difference? I didn't know. First of all, pageants is a whole world within itself. So it can be a very fun world. But I guess you do have to understand it. The easiest way that I explain it to people is the difference between
Hi, welcome back. We're out in our kitchen area.
Yes, outdoors.
Which is outside. Yes. And Dr. Kurt Tyson is here. Thanks for coming on, Doctor.
Thank you so much for having me.
We've heard so much about the raw diet.
Yes, yes. It's a fantastic diet. It's an anti-inflammatory diet. I myself has used it to reversing type 1 and type 2 diabetes in practice. And today what we're preparing is a zucchini pasta with a raw onion bread made out of flaxseed and almond flour.
I am a huge believer in food and how it can transform your body on the inside. But anti-inflammatory diets, there's a few out there, and this is just one of them that you found works for you, right?
Yes, yes. There's tons of anti-inflammatory diets. I focus mostly on a plant-based diet, more so being a vegan, of course.
Yeah.
We shouldn't gloss over what you said. You were diagnosed with type 1.
Yes, type
and
1
by
diabetes.
following this diet, you've gotten your blood sugar completely under control.
Completely under control and off of medication.
And off medication?
Incredible.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so we're
you're
gonna make this.
You're going to make a pasta, a zucchini
Yes.
pasta without
Yeah,
using...
let's show 'em.
Yes.
Without using flour.
So what we
Is that
do-
right?
Yes, what we have a zucchini. This is a spiralizer, so it's all
Okay.
set up here. And you just kind of turn it here, and it makes it into like a little noodle.
It broke.
Right. That's all right.
But it makes
we have
these
something
things
right
yeah,
here.
that's it,
We
yep.
have a little noodle there.
Yeah, okay.
And then we're just making a fresh pasta sauce.
Okay.
So here you add a little bit of bell pepper, put it inside of the blender.
And
When
you're
you talk-
not cooking any of this,
Not
right?
cooking anything.
Not cooking anything.
Because you believe by not cooking it, you're not cooking out any of the nutrients.
Right, because
and the,
when you're cooking food, you lose about 50% of the protein, 80% of the minerals, but you lose about 100% of the phytonutrients. And those phytonutrients are what give you the disease-fighting abilities.
Now, what's this you're putting?
This is
basil.
basil. You
Gosh,
can
it
smell it
smells
right
so
now.
You're
good.
Italian. You would have known that was
Really?
basil.
Oregano. This is fresh
Oregano.
basil, a little bit of thyme.
I got stuck at the garlic.
sun-dried
Where do you
tomatoes.
practice
this is
that?
going to be
I
good.
practice in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Now this
the book?
recipe is going to be on our website, by the way.
Yes, it will.
Yeah,
It will,
okay.
definitely.
And it's also, you share them in the book.
I do share them in the book.
Recipes and things.
Mhm.
Okay.
And it pretty much will just blend up. Get a little bit of water in here. Yeah.
Okay, water. We got that.
Water.
Let's do it.
Okay.
How much?
Excellent. That's good enough
That's
right
good.
there.
That's
Plenty.
Just to get it all moving,
Yep, get it
huh?
moving.
Push it down a little bit. There you go.
All right.
There we go. Oh. Gotta love it.
Is
Gotta be good.
100% of your diet raw?
No, I'm not, about 80% is raw, 100% vegan.
Okay.
Hey,
And
one
then-
other thing we should point out is you can take this pasta, and even though it's in the raw, harder form, you can soften it up a little
Yes,
bit.
if you
to make
decide to
it-
cook it, you can steam it, you can cook
I
it.
do that all the time
Yeah.
with zucchini.
Mhm.
You can buy vegetable
So it seems
peelers
just
too
like
if you don't
pasta.
have one of these things.
Right.
Yeah.
This is ground flaxseed and also ground almonds. So this is almonds that have just been simply put into a grinder.
Okay.
And then you just chop up some fresh onions.
And what is this going to be?
This is
Working on right now. I'm working on another LP. I'm working on a project called the Grace Jones Experiment. And yeah, man.
We find out she went overseas and came back and be like, I'm gonna do the Grace Jones experiment.
Yeah, man. It's fun. It's edgy. It's bold. So
That's Grace Jones.
yeah. I'm having fun with it. KYS and DJ Iron is behind me with it, and Judah are helping me bring it out to the people. So it's coming along great. I got production from my man Nico from Taylor Gang. I have production from Tone P, of course, AB the Pro. So it should be nice.
So Dilly the Party, produced by Judah on the Beats. Yeah, I'm feeling that.
Y'all like that?
Yeah,
that was tough.
It's got a different sound. Like you said, it is edgy.
Beautiful.
And I mean, I see different markets picking that joint up. And I'm glad I got it. So it's gonna be bumped all the way home. Now we're gonna listen to this when we riding out later.
Are we?
Yeah,
Are we?
yeah. Yeah, you can like wave your hand out the window. Be like, Dilly the Party. What? Okay, all right.
Take a picture when y'all do that. I'm a switch picture.
We be like, ah. Raw, the MC, yeah. So she was speaking about her new project that's coming up. If you're just tuning in, the Grace Jones Experiment or Experience?
Experiment.
Experiment. Okay. All right.
You can
I'm feeling that.
experience the experiment.
That's right. Of Grace Jones. Like Grace Jones.
Could not reverse diabetes at all, type 2, type 1. And then we started doing bypass surgery and we saw people lose weight and they started to reverse diabetes. Now we're seeing more and more that just by changing your diet and exercising, you can come off your
Welcome
medication.
back. In the wake of the decreasing state of health in the U.S. and throughout the world, Dr. Kurt Tyson has written a new self-help book, and he's joining us this morning to talk about it. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Welcome. It's The Raw Truth.
Yes.
And it's the recipe for reversing diabetes.
Yes.
Huge problem, especially in the African American community. Tell us a little bit, give us the raw truth. Tell us a little bit about the book, what inspired it. Give us some information.
Definitely. Well, right now, about 26 million people have diabetes, and that's expected to increase to about 10% of adults by the year 2030. So it's a huge problem with diabetes. I wrote the book after my own struggle with diabetes. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes back in 2005, actually in November, which is Diabetes Month, and I came across the raw food diet with a program in Arizona with Dr. Gabriel Cousins, and that effectively helped me to reverse my diabetes to where I was able to come off insulin and stabilize my blood sugar levels, which was better than they were on diabetic medication. So we know with diabetes is all about what you eat, right? But you can't just take medication and have normal blood sugar levels. You have to modify your diet, and you also have to increase your exercise. But a lot of people don't know what they need to do, so that's why I created this book, to give them a real guide as far as the steps they need to take, as far as the foods they need to eat.
X Factor was amazing. It was a dream, you know? But X Factor was special because I was going through a period in my life and in my career where I felt so unsure about everything. And I was like, God, you know, if this isn't for me, I've been doing it, we coming up on 10 years now. If this is not in your plan for me, show me, please. And he put me on stage in front of thousands of people who went crazy. And it was like, yo, what more could I ask for to be certain that I'm doing the right thing? So X Factor made me grow a lot, you know. We're talking 23 hours a day of choreography, vocal training, performance, no sleep, no eating, you know, learning lyrics within an hour. it made me a monster. I will say when I came home, I was a different person. Like my work ethic and the way I approach music now is different than what it was before I went on the show. I've always been a shy person, and I'm not a confrontational person, so I would be very agreeable and I wouldn't speak up, you know, years ago. It is a totally different story today.
Today is the first installment of the Pamper Project. And what the Pamper Project is basically, it's kind of a labor of love. And I say that because Sephora is my official makeup artist. Anytime that I go out to an event, whether red carpet or just a charity appearance, they do my makeup for me. And what I started to think about was how when I was a young girl, how I always wanted to look beautiful and I wanted to have my makeup perfect. And I just, you know, wanted to be the belle of the ball. So I went to Sephora and asked them if they would be willing to collaborate with me on a give back for the girls of PG County. And I say that because sometimes PG County high schools aren't recognized or shined in the light that they should be. So basically the premise of the project is the girls who have maintained high GPA and they've also maintained perfect attendance throughout the school year. I wanted to be able to reward them because what I always go back to is that sometimes being the smartest girl doesn't always mean you're the most popular, and it's not. Sometimes you want to hide the fact that you are intelligent because of fear of, you know, not being fitting in. So, but I wanted to shine light on that and reward them for